Good morning, kids. We're reviewing today for a test that you're going to have tomorrow on Thursday over volume. So make sure you remember that test over volume on Thursday. And you'll get some questions similar to this. I'm going to go over a few of them. And one would be similar to this, where you have looks like a glass box and you're packing unit cubes inside. And we're trying to find out, it says Stanley's packing the box shown above with sugar cubes. The sugar cubes are all the same size, and one sugar cube equals one sugar cube, of course. Okay. What's the volume of the box? How many sugar cubes can fit in the box? Now, he's talking about when this is full. Now, if you just count the blocks that are inside right now, that will not be the correct answer because that's not full. So we need length times width times height. So length would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks long. That would be the length. The width would be 1, 2, 3 blocks wide. Length times width times height. And the height would be, well, there's 1 and 2. And of course, these two are sitting on top of one block. So that's 3 right there. Then all you do is multiply this out. I'll do it the easy way. 3 times 3 is 9. And 5 times 9 is 45. So it's 45 cubes or 45 cubic units. 45 cubic units. Just keep in mind length times width times height, as long as you're working with a rectangular prism. So I'll go ahead and punch that in, 45. Well, maybe I won't. I'll just go on. Now we'll get a question like this. Okay. And again, this is a composite figure. It's basically a shape that's broken into two rectangular prisms. And you need to find out the measurements of each one. And this is the formula for figuring out the size of each. And each one of these is length times width times height plus length times width times height. You're adding, you should be adding the volume of one block to the volume of the other. And these are rectangular prisms. Okay. Let's look at the rectangular prism on the bottom. We know the length is 24. Okay. So we're going to have 24, and then the width is 5, and then the height is 4. So our measurements for that one rectangular prism are going to be 24 times 5 times 4. Do you see anything down here that has 24 times 5 times 4? A does, and C does. Those are the only two. So we know it's the correct answer is going to be either A or C because that's the measurement of the rectangular prism on the bottom. Now, how about on the top? The length for the entire stacked set of rectangular prisms is 20. But we just want the length, right? Actually, we'll call this the length this time, okay? Um, it's 20 minus what? How tall is this orange block? It's 4. So what's 20 minus this 4? Yes, that would be what? 16. 16. So one measurement is 16. Let's write that down. This measurement will be 16, not 20 anymore. And the measurement across here, I guess they still call that the width. That would still be 5 because this is 5. And the block is 5 deep all the way across. Every diagonal is going to be 5, right? And it says the width is 6. Or I guess that would be labeled the length on this one. So they're doing length as 6, I could tell. And the width is 5. And we'll call the height 16. So that would be 6 times 5 times 16. And remember, A and C are the only answers that could be correct. Do you see on A and C where we have 6 times 5 times 16? Okay, on C it's 6 times 5 times 20. On A it's 6 times 5 times 16. That's this rectangular prism. And again, 24 times 5 times 4 is this one. So A would be the correct answer. And you simply add those together to get the volume of the entire sort of an L-shaped figure. Okay. multiply length times length times width times height of both rectangular prisms, then add them together. Okay, let's move along. Let's do another, and let's try. We've tried one of these. This is simply length times width times height. Length would be 5, width would be 3, and the height would be 3. 3 times 3, same answer we got last time. 3 times 3 times 5 is 45. Okay, skip on through. Now, do you see this dashed line? This dashed line this is like a translucent shape. You can see through it partially. And the dotted line is the back side. So this is the back corner that you can't really see. All right, the back edge that you can't see, another back edge. And all it means is the height's 48, the length across here is 42, and the width is 24. And of course, this is not a rectangular prism, so you have to divide it right here, right? So once you do that, you figure out the length, width, and height of both of these figures. I think if I cut it right here into two rectangular prisms, this being one right here, and this being the other, it would be easy to figure out that way. All right, that's what you need to do. And then add them together. Okay, let's look at another one. This one shows you no picture. You have no graphic, but it does give you the length and the width of the height of this figure that you cannot see. It's a volume of a refrigerator. Again, you just multiply, multiply, and multiply. 3 times 2 times 6. Keep in mind, a unit cube is called a unit cube because 1 means unit. Unit means 1. Okay, this is 1, 1, and 1. A unit cube always has 1 unit in height, 1 unit in length, and 1 unit in width. It's 1 by 1 by 1, always. If it has some other number there, it's not a unit cube. Okay, unit means 1. Keep that in mind. And we buzz on through. We see some of the same problems. Okay, nothing really new. Now, here's the choice. You have 4 different figures here. And which one has the volume of 64? You just have to, again, use our formula, length times width times height, to find the volume of each one. And when you find one that equals 64, that is the correct answer. There's only one correct answer. Okay? And you know how to work these. They're pretty much the same thing. And again, remember the dashed line is that those invisible edges on the back side. That's why they draw that in. Sometimes they draw that in, sometimes they don't. Don't let that fool you though, okay? Same on here. And again, this is a glass, we'll call it a glass container. And make sure it's asking if this is completely packed, how many unit cubes would be inside. Make sure it's not what's inside now, but it's what's inside when it's completely filled. All right. And that is a sample of what you'll be doing to review for your test, and really a sample of what will be on your test. So keep in mind, those are the type problems that we've looked at. This is everything on our assignment today, and you should be able to handle this. And hopefully you'll do a really good job, and you'll be ready for the test tomorrow. And the test will have 10 questions, and it'll have a little bit of everything that's on this. Okay? So be ready for it, and you will be in good shape.